NLW 24/7 is back on the air with that's right, 3 huge match cards of action. The first being Backlash in California tonight with a huge main event. Fatal 4-way tag team match. DX, the Golden Lovers, the Young Bucks and the Hardy Boys battle out to see who's the best tag team in the world. Speaking of tag teams, Suzuki Goon versus CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. Punk and Bryan win, Punk gets a title shot. If they lose, Bryan must leave NLW 24/7. Plus, Jay White goes one-on-one with the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. Will Wyatt be able to combat the Switchblade here tonight in California? Plus, Attitude Era Trios match. Shane McMahon teams with the Deadly Brothers of Destruction to take on the Dream Team of The Rock, Mankind and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and our opening contest. We're not even going to wait, folks. They're already in the ring. Huge tag team match, the Jurassic Express. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits. And get this, thanks to John on Patreon, it's a lumberjack match. That means there will be no running. They will keep it in the ring, hopefully. That is what the lumberjacks are out here to do. But again, both teams well accomplished in their respective companies that they've wrestled before. And Montez and Jungle Boy, look at the athleticism as Montez lands on his feet, and so does Jungle Boy. And they stare right at one another. And now the big man Luchasaurus in, along with Angelo Dawkins, the two powerhouses running at each other to start off this huge night of action here at Backlash. Oh, and a big shove down, and now the Lumberjacks, look at this, going after Luchasaurus. You see Big E, Rey Mysterio and Tommaso Ciampa trying to get the advantage, and there's a super kick to Angelo Dawkins, and now on the other side you see Carlito and Noam Dar going after him. And a drop kick from Jungle Boy. And you know, this is just the first NLW 24/7 show over the next couple of weeks. In 2 weeks' time, we present All Out live from Chicago. And then 2 weeks after that, we present One Night Stand live from New York. 3 shows you don't want to miss, and this is just kicking it off here with 2 of the best tag teams in the world. You know, Montez Ford, he wants to prove something tonight. We've seen them on NLW 24/7 before in a tag team battle royal, but tonight a win could maybe put them in line for a title shot. You never know, but look at this. Jungle Boy had it scouted, the Hurricane Rana, but that's the thing about these lumberjack matches. They're out there to throw them immediately back into the ring, and Jungle Boy cannot make the tag. And now Angelo with a splash, and another big splash from Montez as Jungle Boy gets sent to the wolves again. As Ciampa, well, you see, he's loving being a lumberjack out here. It means he can just beat the hell out of anyone he wants with no repercussions. And a big time elbow drop from Montez Ford. Of course, this isn't the only exciting action. We've still got a massive fatal 4-way tag to go in our main event. But right now in our opener, you saw Angelo Dawkins going for the choke bomb, but instead Jungle Boy turns it into a DDT. Now it's open for him to make the tag, and Luchasaurus, the big man, in. And he's learned something after being alive for over 64 million years. And the dinosaur with great athleticism. 2 kicks from the Street Profits and a standing moonsault. The size of Luchasaurus to pull that off is amazing. And sending Montez over onto the Lumberjacks. Tag now made to Jungle Boy as Luchasaurus soars like a pterodactyl through the sky. But look out for Angelo with the Sour Powerbomb. And now Montez with the frog splash. Looks like this could be over, but Luchasaurus using Rey Mysterio to break it up. Using one of the lumberjacks, and look at this. You see Walter and Damian Priest on the outside there. Fighting it out, and now look at this. Priest and Walter battling on the outside. And now the Jurassic Express. And Jurassic Express pick up the win. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy win. But the fight continues between Lumberjacks on the outside. I think a disagreement went down between Priest and Walter, and that's led to them fighting outside. But let's take a look at the replay of the great action in our opener here tonight. Montez thrown over the top. Luchasaurus thrown over as well. Throwing his whole body over, and then it was only a matter of time before this hit. The Jurassic Express and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus pick up the win here in our opener at Backlash in this tag team lumberjack match. Well, the street path is going to be this. Oh, wait a minute! What the hell is? It's the former 24/7 champion, Roman Reigns, and now he's demanding a mic. And what a message from the tribal chief. But who will step up to Roman? Oh, look out for the spear. It's the rated R superstar. Another former 24/7 champion. And it looks as if Edge has accepted Roman's challenge. Could we see this match go down at All Out? Well, Eddie Guerrero perhaps making a challenge to put his briefcase on the line at All Out, but I'll tell you what, there's a title shot on the line for All Out. Suzuki Goon have been ducking CM Punk for weeks. Their new leader in Kazuchika Okada is not here tonight, but thanks to Cringe Guard, we have this tag team match. Okada, the 24/7 champion, perhaps one of the most cunning 24/7 champions we've ever had, because Okada, despite the fact the titles are on the line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, has just decided, you know what, I'm not going to risk it. I'm not showing up to the building. And so tonight, Suzuki Goon, if they win, will ensure that CM Punk does not get a title shot, and also ensures that Bryan Danielson, that man right there, if he does not win this tag team match tonight, they will never be able to step foot in an NLW 24/7 ring again. Of course, these stipulations added at the last minute. However, high stakes for Bryan and Punk, as the best in the world makes his way to the ring. CM Punk, if his team wins here tonight, will ensure that he will face Okada for the 24/7 championship at our next 24/7 event, All Out, in 2 weeks. And not only that, he gets to pick the stipulation if he wins. But Suzuki Goon, counting on that not happening. Of course, Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki, the running buddies of the champion Okada, want to make sure that Okada does not have to face CM Punk. Maybe they see him as a threat, and I wouldn't blame them one bit. Of course, they're not going to admit that, but nevertheless, the match is on here tonight. Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson, two of the best technical wrestlers in the world, perhaps the two best technical wrestlers in the world, fighting out at the start of this matchup. And of course, Bryan fighting for more opportunities in this company. After all, if he loses the tag match, if Punk and Bryan don't win, then Bryan Danielson is out of NLW 24/7 by order of Okada. That's The kind of fighter that Brian is and the kind of confidence he has in CM Punk. And a slap to Danielson. Now look at this. Going for cattle mutilation, but only has one arm hooked. And Zack Sabre Jr. able to hold on to the bottom rope. And of course a high stakes tag match. It was Cringe God on Patreon who laid out the stipulations for this matchup and all 4 fighters agreed. And now we've got this huge match on our hands, and just look at this intense stare down. Suzuki and Punk now battling in the centre of the ring here at Backlash. This California crowd on their feet. And you see Suzuki going for the gut style pile driver, but CM Punk backs him to the outside. And now throwing Sabre out too. Suzuki-gun in trouble. And now CM Punk telling Brian what he wants. They want to take him out. And double tope suicidas. 2 topes at the same time. Wiping out the men from Suzuki-gun. And ever since this new allegiance with Okada, Suzuki-gun have seemed unstoppable. But you know what? They've got a lot of challenges on their hands. Namely as well, the Mr. Money in the Bank, Eddie Guerrero, who won Money in the Bank 2 months ago and will get a title opportunity anytime he desires in a sanctioned matchup. And that is crucial. And it's also crucial that Suzuki-gun continue to apply the pressure to Bryan Danielson. A brutal penalty kick. And now the leg is held for that knee bar. And again, going to try and cut off the ring. And great tag team wrestling from Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. But you know what? CM Punk wants that tag desperately. With a massive punch, turning Bryan Danielson inside out. An absolutely brutal strike from Minoru Suzuki, and now the twisting ankle pick from Zack Sabre Jr. And now back on his feet, whipping Bryan off the ropes, but floats over. Danielson now off the ropes again and delivers a massive lariat. But he needs to make the tag to CM Punk to keep his title aspirations alive. And he gets there. Now CM Punk with the clothesline, not only fighting for a title shot, but the added pressure of fighting for Danielson's career here. And drop kicking Suzuki off the apron. Now a running knee in the corner. Going to try and follow up with the Bulldog, but Zack Sabre Jr. turns it into a twisting Saito suplex. And now CM Punk in trouble. Going for a butterfly maybe. No! GTS coming! But Suzuki runs in to save his partner. And the Got-Style pile driver. But Danielson follows out with a big psycho knee. And now a discus lariat punch from Zack Sabre Jr. to wipe out Danielson. And Sabre now locks eyes onto the man who wants to challenge Okada. CM Punk now in trouble. He's in the triangle choke. Is Sabre going to make Punk tap out? But he's trying to fight it. And look at this! On the shoulders for the GTS. And Punk and Danielson win this matchup. Not only does Bryan Danielson keep his job, but CM Punk will challenge Kazuchika Okada for the 24/7 title in his hometown of Chicago at All Out in 2 weeks. Well, again, it was a very intense affair, as we knew it would be. With Okada not in the building tonight, you knew that Suzuki-gun were wanting to impress their leader. However, unfortunately, it was the counter from the triangle into the GTS that ensures a win for Punk and Danielson. Call them whatever you want, but now you can call CM Punk the #1 contender for Kazuchika Okada's title. What another huge match made for All Out. A Texas death match, double or nothing. 100 grand on the line between Mickie James and Naomi. And what's on the line right now? Only a lot of pride and a lot of ego. A throwback brought to you by John on Patreon. The Brothers of Destruction being led to the ring by Shane O'Mac. Shane McMahon and the Brothers of Destruction, an unlikely pairing. However, this matchup really dates back, well, over 20 years. All the different story threads going on between these six gentlemen comes to a head 20 years later here at Backlash. And about to make their ways to the ring, it's the Rock and Sock connection. The Rock and Mankind, two of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. Gonna try and take the fight to the Brothers of Destruction, but they have not come alone, folks. They've got one hell of a partner. As we await the arrival of the Texas Rattlesnake himself. In that ring we have two former 24/7 champions and a lot of men who could be future 24/7 champions if they find Okada, that is. And now this Attitude six-man tag underway as Mankind wails away on Kane in the corner. And The Rock now with a people's punch. And now Shane McMahon suplexed on the outside. And you know, we've seen Vince McMahon here on 24/7 before, leading Andre the Giant into victory. But tonight is Shane McMahon with two of the best partners he could have asked for in the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker. And now double choke slams to The Rock and Sock. Mankind and The Rock may be taken out already, but here comes Austin, clotheslining The Undertaker over the top. I'll tell you what, this is going to be all action here tonight as Austin goes for the stunner, but an uppercut from Kane. And now The Undertaker choking out Austin on the announce table. And where the hell is Shane McMahon going? What's Shane O'Mac thinking? Oh my God! Elbow drop through the table. Crashing through the heart of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Man, oh man, I want to look at this again. Check this out. Driving that elbow right through the chest of Austin. That is what NLW 24/7 is about. These dream matches, all of this chaos, anything can happen at any time. With the title being on the line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, these matches are crucial in making a statement to the rest of the locker room. As Kane wails away on Mankind, I think that McMahon wants a piece of Foley. And here comes the son of Vince McMahon, Shane O'Mac. The last punch though, the Shane Shuffle, blocked with a nasty right from Foley. But Mankind needs to make the tag, and he gets there. Here comes the Brahma Bull, but Shane wants no part of it, tagging in the Big Red Machine. And the spine on the pine. The Rock wailing away on Kane, but now The Undertaker in. The dead man looking for a chokeslam, but The Rock escapes it, and a double line to the Brothers of Destruction. And now, I know what he's pulling out from his trunks. It's Mr. Socko, and he gets applied onto Shane O'Mac. That dirty, sweaty sock in the throat of Shane O'Mac, but here comes Kane with a clothesline off the top to break it up. And save Shane McMahon's ass as, oh my goodness! The double-arm DDT from Foley. And look who's back up. It's Steve Austin. Austin getting a measure of revenge over Shane O'Mac. And runs right back to the corner. Wants to see his first proper action of this matchup. And here comes the rattlesnake. Austin, Undertaker, stun gun flapjack on the top rope. And that flailing elbow. And that was a piece of Shane McMahon, and I don't blame him. McMahon's been cocky all week leading up to this fight. And stomping a mud hole and walking it dry. But a big boot to the face of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now looking for a choke slam, but the Rock from behind. And the rock bottom to the Big Red Machine, but the Undertaker with a choke slam to the Rock. Undertaker the only man left standing for now though. Socko the mandible claw, no! Tombstone! Tombstone to Mick Foley. And Shane McMahon wants a piece. Wants to put it away. The final explanation point on this insane six-man tag. Austin being held by The Undertaker for Shane to go coast to coast. But here's The Undertaker instead. Austin moves. And a kick to the stomach and the stunner. And Austin picks up the win for his team. Your winners, Austin, Rock and Mankind. What a dream team that is, and they have walked out of here, out of California, as the winners here tonight. But it was touch and go. You saw the action throughout this contest. It seemed as though nobody could get any sustained advantage until the end here, when it looked like Shane was going to put away Steve Austin. With the coast to coast, however, hit his own partner in The Undertaker and gets a stunner for his troubles. I'll tell you what, the Brothers of Destruction, furious. But look at the sight here on stage at Backlash. Shane falls to Austin, Rock and Mankind. Attitude is alive and well. And what a challenge made! It goes down in 2 weeks. Iron Man match for the 24/7 title, Punk vs Okada at All Out. But right now, you know that the Switchblade is going to go all out if he has any chance of beating the Eater of Worlds here tonight. Easy for me to say. And it's also easy to thank the person responsible for this matchup, Clarence Morris III on Patreon. Thank you for requesting this matchup. A very interesting one between two men with very similar styles. Jay White, the Switchblade, as you can see, has been dealing with some facial injuries during sparring earlier this week, but he says he is still ready to compete against this psychotic and dangerous individual. The Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was the first man ever to win the 24/7 championship, winning a Horror Royal Rumble as The Fiend. Since then, he's won it again and has even taken members of the roster out for good to the point where we've not seen them since. But will the same fate befall the Switchblade? Again, he says he's 100%. Facial injuries during sparring has meant that he's had to apply some special powder to that face. And you know that Bray Wyatt is going to try and go after it. You saw he tried to go for the headbutt. But look at this. Oh my god, that is creepy. Bray Wyatt. It was actually Jay White who requested this matchup, wanted to prove his skills. He's also a former 24/7 champion here. So two former champions colliding in the centre of the ring, going for the Saito suplex, but Bray Wyatt turns it around, and you know what, he may be cunning and he may be crazy, but he is a great technical wrestler too. There's Jay White. Oh my god! I spoke too soon. The momentum shifting. Good lord. What a lariat from Bray Wyatt, who again goes right in the corner and throws all of his weight at Jay White. Now, again, driving him into the turnbuckle, and you heard the sickening thud of Bray's head against the buckle. And now the knee drop. Again, in for the cover, but a kick out. And Bray Wyatt and Jay White, both former world champions. And Jay White now goes right back after Bray Wyatt, but look at the power in which that Wyatt sent Jay White into the ring post. The switchblade coming off of that post like a Formula 1 car into the side of the road. And again, look at this right now. Again, driving Bray Wyatt with a Saito suplex into the barricade. And now, momentum shifting for Wyatt as the momentum goes all towards the switchblade as he gets snap Saito suplexed into the ring steps here, and again running at him. But the clothesline doesn't have any effect. Wyatt stays on his feet, goes for a clothesline. Oh no! Sister Abigail, maybe no. Wyatt had it scouted again, as did Jay White, but there is a suplex that throws Jay White right across the ring. This is quite the tongue twister of a matchup, but look at that. Gets his neck twisted on the top rope, and oh my, Wyatt trying to pull him back in. Oh, and a suplex to the outside. No, both men on the apron, and this is dangerous territory here. And a bloody Sunday on the hardest part of the ring. Bray Wyatt was sent crashing down on the back of his skull. And now gonna deadlift him for that Saito suplex, and again working on that neck of Wyatt. That is a very dangerous territory for Bray Wyatt to be in. And oh my goodness, he went for the switchblade. However, Bray Wyatt, again, look at this now. A roll up from Jay White, but an uppercut. And now White with the flurry and a huge punch going for a high angle German suplex and connects. And now Jay White, the switchblade runs off the ropes right into the coming elbows of the Eater of Worlds. Like a torpedo in your chest, 300 pounds flying at you. It's going to wind you, to say the least. Now Bray Wyatt, what the hell? Oh my god, he wants to hit the Sister Abigail off the top rope, but both men thinking the same thing, clattering each other, and both men fall off the top rope.
3.
And now the referee begins
4,
his count.
5.
You know what?
6.
It's looking like both men
7.
may not get up. We may get a double count out here.
9.
Referee at 9, but both men make it back to the ring before the count of 10. Just in the nick of time. And now in the centre of the ring, Fry Takayama. Shades of that legendary fight here in this matchup. And now a couple of headbutts from Bray Wyatt in response to the shots from Jay. But Wyatt going for the switchblade. No! Sister Abigail connects. And Bray Wyatt gets the job done here at Backlash. Bray Wyatt successfully puts away the challenge of the switchblade. But I'll tell you what, it was closer than a lot of Jay White critics would give him credit for. After all, look at the way that he targeted that neck, continued offense on it. But Bray Wyatt used his power to his advantage. Right there, I thought we were getting a double count out. The ring of the arm into the switchblade could have been the greatest finish to a pro wrestling match I've ever seen. However, Bray Wyatt turned it on its head and hit the Sister Abigail to win here at Backlash. Now, could potentially Bray Wyatt be the one to go after Okada in the 24/7 title after All Out? And well, you know what? Stone Cold Steve Austin celebrating a great victory earlier tonight, but look out! It's Randy Orton! Oh my god, and a punt kick! What is the meaning of this? Randy Orton has just laid out Stone Cold Steve Austin. And well, folks, that may be chaotic, but our main event is still to come. A fatal 4-way tag team match. The winners could lay claim to being the best tag team in the world, but who will it be? Thank you to John on Patreon for this incredible match idea, and the Championship Committee made sure to pick the 4 best tag teams in the world, and you know what? I think they've got it spot on. First of all, Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. We've seen them compete here before. We've even seen Jeff be a 24/7 champion before. And now the first challengers from Rancho Cucamonga, California, competing in their home state. It's Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks, of course, they've got extensive history with the Hardy Boys, as well as another team in this matchup, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. And well, friendships have to be put to the side in this one, because it's every team for themselves. Kenny Omega teaming with his best friend in the world, Kota Ibushi. Together they are the Golden Lovers, and tonight they want to prove that they are the best tag team in the world. And not only that, Kenny Omega wants to get revenge on the 2 men who have targeted him over the past few months here in NLW 24/7. Those same very 2 men are about to make their way to the ring. It all started when Triple H took a sledgehammer to the skull of Cody Rhodes. Then, later on in the evening, Shawn Michaels and Triple H ganged up on Kenny Omega to cost him the 24/7 championship. And then, when we last saw you here on NLW 24/7, DX pushing Kenny Omega off a ladder, costing him Money in the Bank. And you know what? We know what the situation's like between these 4 guys. After all, it was the Young Bucks who came to the aid of Kenny Omega when he was being attacked by DX and left a bloody heap, but oh, come on. Well, these fans in attendance wanted to see Kota Ibushi in this all-star tag team main event. And this is what NLW 24/7 is all about. These wild, insane dream matches going for rolling Northern Lights suplexes, but I think Shawn Michaels realises he wants no part of Matt Jackson. And now here comes Matt Hardy, who I think made the blind tag to Shawn Michaels as DX. Going to take a breather on the outside, but now Matt Hardy on the top rope, punching down his adversary and delivers a leg drop. Hooks the outside leg, but look out for Shawn Michaels to break up the pin. Remember, 1 fall to a finish and tell him to suck it. Oh, but here comes Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy colliding with HBK, and now a big time boot from Nick Jackson to the game. And the 2 former champions fired on the stage. A twist of fate on the steel ramp. I mean, Matt Jackson and Matt Hardy are the 2 legal men, but what the hell is Jeff Hardy doing here? Remember, fatal 4-way means no DQ. What is going through the mind of Jeff Hardy? Oh no, you don't think. Jeff Hardy climbing the steel truss of the Backlash stage. Hardy on top. Oh my God! Swanton! 30 feet! Misses the table and crashes and burns, and 30 feet, 40 feet, whatever it was a hell of a landing for Jeff Hardy, and he may have taken himself out of this main event matchup. Meanwhile, in the ring, the Young Bucks trying to hit more bang for your buck, and they do, but a blind tag from Triple H, who is now the legal man, and takes out both of the Young Bucks in one fell swoop as he goes after Matt Hardy, who is all alone. And a stalling suplex, no! Side effect from Matt. And Triple H, we've seen the vicious attacks. We've seen them on Kenny Omega, leaving him a bloody heap in the backstage area. And now Matt Hardy makes the tag to Kenny Omega. Omega in to try and take out the man who cost him the 24/7 title, and the man who took out Cody Rhodes with that sledgehammer. But the V-trigger turned around into a spinebuster, and well, Michaels makes the tag, but so does Kota Ibushi. And now Ibushi and HBK battling in the ring, but Ibushi with a corkscrew moonsault. And now here it comes. Oh, looking for the Kamigoye, but now sweet chin music caught. And an uppercut from Ibushi. Runs off the ropes and a flying elbow from Shawn Michaels, who kicks right back up to his feet. And Shawn wants to go for the elbow here, but look at the agility of Ibushi. The snap Frankensteiner, but a super kick breaks up the pin. And now the Young Bucks, what the hell's going through their minds? Oh, and trying to take out D-Generation X, and flies over the top. Flying over the top with a corkscrew, but now look out for Matt Hardy. Twist of fate to Matt Jackson. And who the hell? How is Jeff Hardy standing? Jeff Hardy with a swanton, this time it connects. The Hardy Boys now, oh my! Double Hurricane Rana from the Golden Lovers. Well, they're about as close as brothers as you can get, those two. And now the cross slash. Two moonsaults. One for Matt, one for Jeff, wiping out the Hardy Boys. But now Triple H wants some of the action for himself. He's daring the Golden Lovers for a 2-on-1 situation here. Misses the clotheslines and a double drop kick, taking out the game. But a sweet chin music to Kenny Omega and a roundhouse from Ibushi. My God, what a main event we're witnessing here tonight. And hold on, wait, what the hell? What on earth is the Outsiders? The Outsiders taking out the Young Bucks. What's this about? And, oh my God, he's got the sledgehammer. Oh my God! Just like what he did to Cody Rhodes. And this one's over. For the love of God, somebody get Kota Ibushi some medical attention. He just had his damn head caved in with that sledgehammer. But the Outsiders, here to help D-Generation X. And we know the history of those guys, folks. These four have been running buddies for years, trying to hold back anybody who got in their way. And tonight, taking out the Young Bucks and that sledgehammer shot, ensuring that DX win this historic Fatal 4-Way Tag match tonight at Backlash. And now medical attention being given to Kota Ibushi, and this is just disgusting what's happened here tonight. Shawn Michaels and Triple H enlisting the help of their buddies, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall are the outsiders. Who the hell can stop the Click? And folks, the next time we see you, it's going to be all out in Chicago. It happens 2 weeks' time, Okada vs Punk for the 24/7 title.